I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make a no-bake chocolate cheesecake pie. It tastes just like a chocolate cheesecake. It just looks like a pie. And the best thing about it, you don't even have to turn your oven on. How awesome is that? Now to make it, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some plain cream cheese. It's very important that it's at room temperature. Some melted semi-sweet chocolate, brown sugar, regular sugar, milk, instant espresso powder, vanilla extract, a 9-inch chocolate graham cracker crust, and just for decoration, just a few extra chocolate chips. So, let me tell you how easy this is. First of all, we're taking a shortcut by buying a pre-made chocolate crust. We don't have to do anything to it. It's good to go. Now, to make this, you have to make sure the cream cheese is at room temperature. Otherwise, it's not going to cream. And then we're going to have a big mess on our hands. So, in this big bowl, we're going to add the cream cheese, the brown sugar, the regular granulated sugar. We're going to also add about a half a teaspoon of instant espresso powder. The reason why I'm adding this is because, remember, as you guys know, every time I make chocolate, I love using something that really makes the chocolate pop. Whether it's a touch of cinnamon, whether it's a little bit of instant coffee, works perfectly. And you know what's really good about this too? If you don't have instant coffee, if you have some leftover coffee from this morning, just put a couple tablespoons in there. You're good to go. Instant coffee instant coffee you can use like this, like raw, but if it's regular coffee granules, you don't want to do that because it don't dissolve. So, we're also going to add some milk to this, a couple tablespoons, a little bit of vanilla extract, not too much. Now make sure you also melt the chocolate. I just melted about 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate in the microwave, and that's ready for me. Now using my good old-fashioned hand mixer like this, I'm going to mix this up for about 2 minutes, and it's important that we whisk it for a while because we want to make sure the sugar has completely dissolved and we don't bite on any big pieces of it. So on she goes. After 2 minutes, this is what it looks like. It's a perfectly thick consistency. I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to add in the melted chocolate, my favorite. Now, like I said, I just melted this in the microwave for about a minute or so. I start at 30 seconds and then just mix it every 30 seconds until it's melted. Add that to this. And you want to make sure it's not really hot when you add it, otherwise it's going to curl up a little bit. You want to make sure it cools just a tad. Now, back to our handy dandy mixer, and this I'm going to turn back on for another 2 minutes because, like I said, we just want to make sure everything is nice and fluffy and the sugar is completely dissolved, so we can't be too careful. And this is not like a cupcake batter or like a cake batter that you can't overmix. Whisk away. We almost covered myself in chocolate there. Take this out. Leave some batter on the beaters there because there's got to be a treat for the cook, you know what I mean? All right. So now using my spatula, I'm just going to mix this to make sure we incorporated everything from the bottom. Now take my little spoon and give this a taste. That's so good. That's so good. Ugh. Okay. Get back on track, Laura. Put this fabulous batter in here. Even it out with your spatula. I kid you not. I'm eating like the batter before I even put it on here. I'm just going to sprinkle the top with some chocolate chips, and this is completely optional. You don't have to do this, obviously, but, you know, you guys know me and chocolate. We go hand in hand. Now we're going to cover this up. You can use aluminum foil. I'm just going to use this little handy dandy topper that came with the pie crust. Close it up, and now the bad part about this, it's going to have to go in the fridge for about 3 hours or so. It has to really set, otherwise we can't slice it. But normally I will put it in and this will be the end of us, but I really want to show you guys how awesome it is when you slice it, and I want to take a bite of it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's had time to set. And let this sit in the fridge for a few hours. So now it should be perfectly ready to dig into it. So that's what I'm going to do. You know me, I mean, I've been waiting here. Know how tempting it's been to go in there and just eat the whole thing? Look at that perfection. Now, if you let it set a little bit more, it will harden, but look, see how we sliced it, it held together? Doesn't need any longer than that. just needs to be eaten. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I'm a little speechless. I really am. To get the recipe for this, with all the amounts of the ingredients and everything, go to www.laureninthekitchen.com. Get in your kitchen, make this super easy but delicious pie, and I guarantee you, you're not gonna regret it. See ya. Today's Twitter question comes from BeautyJunkie86. They said, I'd love to know what your all-time favorite comfort food / dinner is. Now, this isn't really a dish. I mean, I don't know how you would describe it, but it is my all-time favorite thing to eat, and it's ridiculously easy, but if it's done good with good ingredients, nothing beats it. And it's a really good prosciutto and mozzarella sandwich. Oh my goodness, on a nice piece of crusty ciabatta. I would love to have it grilled if possible, so it's got a nice charred flavor to the bread. Some buffalo mozzarella, the best prosciutto parma. I'm in heaven. Give me that and a slice of pastira. I will eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner from now to for the rest of my life. That's just my favorite comfort food. Now remember, if you have any questions for me, tweet me at Laura's Kitchen. Don't forget the hashtag Laura Vitale.